back, and look, you can see
You can
us.
actually see us.
This is Julia.
Hi.
And I'm Daniel.
Hi.
Hi. See, we can make faces now. This is amazing. All right, so we keep changing our style. We're going to talk about Manchester.
Manchester.
Right. So after London, because you've seen all those videos, right? They have, right?
Well, we can assume.
After that, we took a train from London up to Manchester. So this was our second full city in.
Yes.
So let's talk about it.
And well, this was our view from our hotel room, which was just a Holiday Inn Express. They had really good breakfast.
We're not being paid for this.
Full English breakfast, and what was nice was to know that it was included. So when you sign up for the membership, they're like, oh yeah, breakfast is free, and
Yay.
Of course, full English means British style bacon, sausages, of course,
Gotta have your sausage,
eggs, and of course the baked beans.
Yep, gotta do that
with potatoes,
the
tomato,
like just a
and
grilled tomato,
mushrooms.
Yes.
So that's included in the full
and
English
then there's
breakfast. Toast and croissants and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah,
it was pretty good for $0 extra.
Coffees, teas.
Yes.
So view from our room. This was actually a little later in our stay. We didn't think to take pictures early on.
We were exhausted
when we first got
but
there.
the train, oh man, so much better than Amtrak. Can we just acknowledge that right now?
Yes, their train system was really good from the moment we get to the station to trying to figure out the board, trying to figure out which train to get on.
And most importantly, on time. Timeliness is something. Now, I'm not going to make fun of Amtrak, so let's just not talk about Amtrak.
All right,
I'm moving on.
Moving on a little
that's a
bit.
good idea.
So,
hey, is that Julia? And you're here, and you're there.
So our first day there, we had decided to just walk the city and see what we discovered. We kind of do this in every new city we get to.
We wander around aimlessly.
The first day, we kind of just like to get to know the general area that we're staying.
That's when we found this. It was just like destination show.
It's their convention center, so it was really close to our hotel, like 10 minutes away.
Sure.
And they were having a convention which was all about travel.
Right. So it was in two parts. The first part was how would you describe it? Like travel companies,
like international type traveling,
lines, and all of those kind of companies.
They had a lot of people representing different countries
there.
there.
There was somebody from like Bahrain, I think.
Yep, and like Bhutan and
that's it,
Pakistan.
Yep.
But then they also had things
like travel agencies.
Yes.
Now, if you got past the halfway point, it was all mobile homes. RVs.
So mobile travel, camping gear. They had a ton of camping gear. But of course, with that came a ton of freebies. So you can see my arms there.
There's some freebies.
I'm holding some of them.
This is all of them.
Yes. This was all of our loot.
To be fair, it wasn't free to get in, but it was what, £1?
It was, I think it was £2 for each of us.
Just the bags. We're still using the bags months later.
You could go in and out all day. That was their little clincher. So
we had a wheelbarrow full of this stuff.
Yeah, and we still have some of the bags.
Yep, the bags are great.
Mm-hmm. They're very useful.
So, shall we?
Yes.
This is at night. I mean, obviously, but that's the same center.
Same center, but at night.
It's funny because like I'm pointing at the screen, but like that's not obvious. So maybe if I'm like, oh, look over there, then I'm just crossing it. I'm gonna get used to this. I promise. Someday, not today.
Next. Oh, okay. So, do you want to talk about it?
Well, I mean, this was my first opera, like, ever. And we took exactly 0 pictures of the billboard, so 1,000 points for us. We saw Carmen.
Daniel's first opera. I had seen Carmen before, but I had seen it in a different language. So this was actually kind of cool to see it. I believe they switched out languages because at first I'm like, okay, they're definitely using French, but then they're also using Spanish.
Right, and we noticed it wasn't just like our uncertainty, because like I speak 0 other languages, but I pretend. But the signs were in multiple languages.
Yes.
So that was a good tip-off that we weren't, just crazy people who were like, oh, they're all the same.
We ran into a lovely local Manchesteran couple.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
The wife was a little harder for us to understand. She had a thicker kind of accent. But both very lovely older couple. It was their first operas as well. And the gentleman gave us a bit of advice when it came to Manchester and Scotland and I guess I should not have said that.
He gave us advice for cities we went to and cities we didn't, just for the record.
Yes. But future videos. But yeah, spoilers. But he did give us the advice to constantly look up.
Yes, about architecture.
Yeah, his whole thing was he loved the idea as well as we loved the idea. Look up? Yes, let's look up.
Keep going. But show them some
and
of the
how
architecture.
Tall some of the buildings are, and then of
the
course
classic and incredible architecture.
Yes.
So
the mix of old and new buildings right next to each
other.
These
are just cargo shipping containers, Matsons, if you were, but not that brand, obviously. I'm just like playing with my mustache now that the camera's on me. But these beautiful bridges. Let's give some more.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
As you can see, you have a modern building to the right, and then you have an older building to the left. And this was the street that our hotel was on, and in the foreground you have cranes because they're constantly building new buildings or renovating. Manchester, for a very long time, was one of my favorite cities. It felt much more real, kind of people, salt of the earth type of people.
London's a little heavy on the tourism and heavy on the people who could afford to buy me. I mean, a
little bit more pretentious than we're used to.
Well, and it's also, besides those things, it's also crazy big. London is 8 million people, which is no spoiler, maybe a little bit, but it is not the largest city we go to on this trip. We are currently in a city millions of people larger.
Yes.
What city could that? No, we don't tell them. We don't tell. But
this just a general idea of the architecture.
Yeah, and so this is a smaller city than London or New York City. I don't even know if they have 1 million in the city center, but that allows them to still have this beautiful architecture city. Do we have another good architecture picture?
Another quick note, their sidewalks were much better in Manchester than they were in Greater London.
Yeah,
yes.
London's sidewalks are something to be desired nowhere. Look at this.
Good example of
fantastic. This is actually a reference point we used whenever we were not walking in straight lines. But the city's slightly younger than London, so it had more logic to it.
They have a grid system, I think.
It was inconsistent some places. I'm not saying it was perfect, but there was a logic to the way their streets worked. And London doesn't believe in logic for streets.
And they actually had above ground, so they don't have an underground for their mass transit. It's all above ground, so that was nice.
It's like a tram kind of thing, and buses.
So, moving on.
Just more.
The
bees.
This is the gay village. This is the gay village, so you can see the gay right there. Wonderful place. There were pride flags everywhere.
I got distracted by the bees. The bees are one of their symbols of the city, so they're multiple things. Yes,
bees are huge in the UK.
Not literally,
in general.
don't worry, but like it's not like a person-sized bee.
But we had a specific reason to go to the gay village, other than looking at the cool stuff around. Oh, this was really fun.
Well, I mean, this wasn't the reason we were there.
This wasn't the reason we were there. He looks so much better. It's the right height
thing.
Yeah, I got the short Asian thing going on there, so I
mean, you look great too, but you always look great. Let's move on. There we go.
So here, this is what brought us to the gay village, was the Alan Turing's monument and statue. To just kind of honor him. This is a little bit of a close up
of the
of the ground of
this
the statue.
This is right here, over here. I'd point, but I guess I'd just be hitting. I'm getting used to it. No more questions.
But this whole gardens/park was in all of honor of Alan Turing.
Right.
We can move on.
Sure. This is behind him. I just wanted to give some of the reference points. It says his dates again. There's one of the bees.
Yes. So, and of course you have Turing.
Hexagons are the best of guns.
Turing in the eye there.
And there are, like, I just want to...
Oh, and really quick, so Sackville Gardens is where the statue and monument is
that's
located.
Where we were. That's the name of the gardens.
It's like a little park.
Sure.
It's a lovely little place. There are kids running around and stuff.
But not like playground park. It's just a...
Yeah. This Manchester College is actually a technology, sciencey kind of college, which is why they're the ones that is right next to
the distinction between college and university is really important over there. And I feel like we're talking too long. But briefly, a college and university in America, we use the same word. University is the word for what we use both for. Mm-hmm. College is something maybe closer to community college or trade school.
Trade school is much more
it. They use that word for kind of those ideas.
Yeah.
It can be a transitional step or it can be the final thing for a functional job. So I want to say either a community college or a trade school is kind of what college means. So this is a very pragmatic place.
And the next slide has a picture. So this is Manchester University.
And it's massive.
Not to be mistaken for the University of Manchester.
Oh, it's so confusing.
So they actually have two universities.
Given the size
full
of the
universities
city,
of their city.
Right. I mean, London, we expect them to have 5 million, but, like, Manchester is not very big for the number of learning institutions.
And they also had a music college.
Right. It was like...
We didn't take any photos of that because we thought they were younger kids, so we thought these were, like, minors, but then we realized it was a college.
More importantly, there was a lot of people buzzing around it.
Yes. So, education is very much a thing. Is very much a thing. A picture of their campus I thought was pretty.
Hey, that's pretty.
But this was us finally getting a chance to get on the double-decker bus.
We didn't do it in London.
We didn't do it in London,
we
and I'm
busy on the food.
Kind of glad we didn't because when we looked up the rates, it is actually more expensive to ride the bus in London than it is in Manchester. Right. So I was excited. I'm like, yay! I'm finally in my double-decker bus. So that's me there. So this first picture of the sandwiches on the left there is how we managed to stay within our food budget, being that the pound is worth so much more
significantly
than
stronger.
The dollar.
That was a little painful.
So we would go to little kind of small grocery kind of convenience store, bigger than a convenience store but smaller than a grocery store. They had different brands like Asda, Tesco.
Spar was
another
right
one.
Next
yes,
door.
Spar was right next to our hotel.
But we went to all of them.
Looking for any kind of discounted sandwiches because even the sandwiches are different than what we would get. At the very least Hawaii, like lemon chicken salad and chicken mozzarella. They had all kinds of stuff.
Price over here because this is discounted is 50p. So that's about what. 70, 80 cents?
80 cents, something like that.
We're not there anymore. We've forgotten everything.
And the picture on the right is
should be familiar to our Hawaii folks.
Yep, the Hawaii folks. They are big drinkers.
They enjoy the drink.
They enjoy it, and they start early and they end late.
Right.
When it comes to the drinking.
My favorite was when we got out of Carmen, right? So the show starts well after sunset, just to be clear. And yes, I know
started at 8 o'clock.
Right, so there's no real time. It ends, and we just assume that streets are going to be empty, except for other shows.
Ended at 11:30.
Right, it's a good show. It was lively and it was fun, and all the bars were still packed.
Everybody was still hopping. I mean, the place was just crawling with people.
A weekend.
No.
This was a Thursday? Was it a Thursday?
I think it was a Thursday. A Wednesday or Thursday, yep.
So these are just regular people. This isn't like tourists.
These are people who got off of work and went
right to the bar.
Right
They're going to be there until
the pub or bar.
midnight on a work day. I mean, like, that's just...
But they
not
had
everyone, obviously.
the hugest imports of beer that I had, and alcohol that I'd ever seen in any kind of one place.
I'm going to say still true.
Still true. And a good example is they import beer from Hawaii. So, come on.
So,
they like the drink.
Is this our... No, we don't
No,
here.
We have a couple more.
The best snow that we saw during the entire trip.
So
which is ridiculous.
This is from the same hotel window, giant window, floor to ceiling. Very lucky that we had that of the city. The one on the right, a little bit more zoomed out. You can actually see. No, that's that one. You can actually see the snow.
No, I'm pointing at it. See?
I see.
See my finger pointing at it.
Oh, I see. Okay. And so you can actually see the snow falling. I did not want to go outside. The pictures and the view from our hotel was good enough.
I mean,
was
it's
already
not enough
cold.
to make a snowball fight.
Yeah, it wasn't
not
enough for that.
that.
No snow angels. But the picture on the left is the snow finally settling down
over there.
So even in the picture, you can see the roof is all white, and then this next to the roof.
This sidewalk.
Yeah, that's a sidewalk.
You can see there's some snow, but it's not full.
Mm-hmm. And then this is a parking garage. As you can see, the top floor of the parking garage got all the snow.
Yeah.
So we had to share that.
Because somehow no place is going to beat this solid dusting.
Yeah, this was the most snow we saw on the trip.
Yeah, so I think there's only one more
slide.
So after we were nearly done, and look, still snow on the ground, I went around and I took some pictures of some monuments, and I just thought this was probably the most interesting one in the downtown area. Downtown area is fantastic. That's where all the tram lines come through. Their library is there. But this is just, they're very aware of their own history. And I think this is a good place to end it.
This is a good place to end.
We will have more videos from Manchester, and then we'll go on to mystery cities that we definitely didn't say, maybe. So let us know what you think about this new format. Do you like seeing us? Are you like, oh God, what are their hosts doing here? All right. Till next time.
Till next time, everyone.